It can be hard sometimes to not make moves or to see something that everybody else, they're jumping into this. And what was that line that Baker said? I know it's from a rap song, and I'm the last person that should probably talk rap songs with you, but the real G's move silent like in lasagna.
That'd be correct.
That'd be correct? All right, I'm on the right path with that. Maybe that's what the Cavs are doing. And it's hard for me to sit here as NBA free agency really starts to get upticking. You see Paul George sign, Tyrese Maxey gets his deal. Cade Cunningham got what? What from the Detroit Pistons? And I know Evan Mobley will get his deal too, but it's hard for me not to sit here on the day they introduced Kenny Atkinson and I sent the gif out, just poking the Cavs going, well, do something. Do something. Last offseason was a lot of moves. It was George Niang. It was Max Strus. Like, ooh, good, yeah. Sometimes those aren't the right moves. Sometimes you got to move in the silence. And I know the biggest move for the Cavs this offseason will be re-signing Donovan Mitchell. That seems to be a foregone conclusion at this point. What you're doing trading the rest of those guys, bad news on that front that we'll get to coming up. But when I watch everything else happen around the NBA, I'm sitting here going, do something. I'm sorry, I've got an itch. I need it scratched. There's nothing I can do about it. I need the Cavs to do something. When will that be? I don't know. Plenty of Cavs to get to this morning. We got to talk guards. Man, did that series piss me off. They made the right move with Tristan McKenzie. I think Stephen Vogt said something very important when it came to Tristan McKenzie and where he stands with the Guardians. We'll get to that coming up. Got some football to sprinkle in. Of course, CBS Sports. Teams that will exceed and teams that will fail expectations in 2024. You know where the Browns came out on that list. They're easy pickings, but we'll get to that coming up as well, including potential breakout star for the Browns. We got the grid. We got timeout. We got our morning update on what's going to be a short 4th of July week for us. Happy July. Happy to have you alongside right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Hopefully everybody had a fantastic weekend. We survived a 1-year-old's birthday party. Done, over, dusted. We're off to the 4th. Happy to have it. I saw this meme. It goes, somebody's enjoying their last few days of having all 10 of their fingers before Thursday.
The JPP special.
I wasn't going to go there. Somebody out there, I hope not watching or listening, but
have you seen it? Back it up, Terry. Back it up.
That is one of the greatest internet videos in history. Terry, what you doing, Terry? And he's supporting, and then they leave him there. Poor Terry is left there. That is one of my favorite videos in the history of the internet. I think I've done that bracket before, but like that, the Alabama leprechaun. The boom goes the dynamite kid.
Well, now you got Hawk Tua.
Which is taking over. She was at some concert.
She's on stage with Zach Bryan.
That's what it is. But here's the thing. She looked different. I saw a picture. I go, it doesn't look like her. Because now, you know how they you have to legitimize. I'm talking about baseball memorabilia. You catch a home run. They're like, oh, we got to authenticate it. Have we authenticated that chick? They know who she is, right? They found her. She's selling merch. She's out there doing her stuff. But that's one I could see a bunch of copies going, no, I was the Hawk Tua chick. That was me. And just all the memes coming up now. People are like, oh, her father must be really proud. Like, oh, yeah. That's, I think, a fear I have for my kids. I just don't ever want them to go viral. I think about that. My kids' generation coming up, is everybody fights to go viral now. Mm-hmm. That's probably one thing I would like very much to avoid. For my kids. But hopefully you had a fantastic weekend. I will watch the Back It Up Terry video multiple times this week as we get ready to go for Thursday. I'm ready to go for some NBA moves here, man. I'm ready to go. And I know that it's unfair of me to sit here and do hey, Cavs, Kobe up, do something. I don't want them making moves just for the sake of making moves, right? I need them to do the smart thing. They don't have a lot of money that they can spend. And the biggest move is going to be when Donovan Mitchell re-signs. Sorry, I'm conditioned that he is coming back. Great. I didn't feel that way earlier in the offseason. I do now. I now turn my attention to the trade that I think they have to make, and that's getting rid of Darius Garland. But now you see the landscape, and all these places that seem to be options are off the board. He's not going to the Pelicans now. Chris Paul just signed with the Spurs. Like, these teams that I thought might make a little sense, they don't. So did Kobe Altman overplay his hand with this whole thing? We know the line that Kobe took. Oh, I'm not trading anybody. We're holding on to everybody. Yeah, okay, that's fine. You want to try to drive up trade prices, but if you just then overplayed your hand, everybody goes, okay, fine, you're not trading him. We'll go get DeJounte Murray then. Okay, fine, bye. And now you're sitting there holding the bag. Like, if anything, over the last, I don't know, week, maybe even a little longer, you have got to trade away Darius Garland. You have got to trade away Darius Garland. And it's not about, I like Darius. He's a good player. What I've seen, I just keep coming back to, you can't win with two guards. Can you win with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley? And maybe with Donovan Mitchell. But when is the last guard-dominated team to win a championship? Your answer?
The Warriors.
That is correct. Give me another one. I'll wait. Exactly. What happened to the Knicks? Jalen Brunson. They didn't make it. Like, every other team that you see competing against, and we know obviously with how hard the East now is with Philly getting Paul George, and they re-signed Tyrese Maxey this morning. It's hard for me not to watch that. And again, I'm not saying that you were going to sign Tyrese Maxey, you weren't getting Paul George. But it's like you see all these flurry of moves, you're just waiting for the Cavs or something. I am more conditioned than ever that you cannot win with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland on this team. So you've got to do something. And I guess if they really want to see Kenny Atkinson get his hands on this thing and figure it out, oh, well, you know, Matt, they can make a move at the trade deadline in February. You might be out of this by February. With how stacked the East is. And I'm putting a lot on that Paul George signing. This, Evan Cohen sent out this morning from ESPN the list of guys that they had run with Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? I don't want to say one of the best players in the NBA, a little bit of a down year, but an MVP and very good. They tried Ben Simmons. That didn't work. You tried James Harden. That didn't work. They give him Tyrese Maxey. Now you give him Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. There's no way the 76ers are not in the Eastern Conference Finals next year.
There's a possibility.
Okay. You want to know the one reason you'd say no?
You said the same thing about the Suns.
You know me and my Suns thing. You're right. Fair. The thing about 76ers, though, you might actually just go with are they borderline cursed? Would you say they're one of the teams that just always seem to get some stroke of bad luck somewhere? But
it's been a very long process, I'll say that.
Well, the process has shifted, has it not now? Process is a little bit different now for Daryl Morey and crew over there. And I think they've actually come out better. I take Paul George over James Harden any day of the week. Force that hand, that's fine. They found Tyrese Maxey. That works for everybody in that. But I sit here and I see that landscape, right, where the 76ers are not, I'm sorry, I don't think they're going anywhere. You know the Celtics aren't. I like some of the things the Knicks have done. The Bucks are still kind of just laying there. I think they are a team you got to compete against. Pacers, Magic are up and coming. Don't really think the Heat are going to be much. You now have entered a time where the East is much better. Now, thank God you're not in the West. The West is whole different. But you look at it, and I think this is great for the NBA. In a decade where you really only had 3 or 4 teams that you could make a legitimate case to win a championship because LeBron and Steph just had a stranglehold on the decade, basically. Dude, I look at it, I can make the case for 6, 8, maybe even 10 teams that you circle and you're like, hey, man, they could be there. And I want the Cavs to just be in that conversation. Winning the offseason sometimes is not good because you get the expectations, the hype this, the hype that, and the Cavs' moves this offseason were never going to be sexy. It was re-signing Donovan Mitchell, which is great. You made the coaching move. Congratulations to JB, by the way, getting the job at the Pistons. Well done for him. You bring in Kenny Atkinson. I'm waiting on this trade. I'm waiting on this trade that I think Kobe Altman has to make. Inaction is not a good answer. Field these trades. Understand I don't think it's going to work with Darius and Donovan. Make the move. And I will fully admit that I'm drunk on the NBA free agency period. It is one of the fun times. I mean, nobody gives a crap about baseball necessarily, but like football, it's always okay. Who's signing, the tampering period, all that kind of stuff. We're in it now. And if you wanted to let the dust settle to see who else might become available or what other move. Dude, I was reading. Okay, you want Lowry Markkanen to come back? Apparently he's back in the trade block. Is Brandon Ingram really the move that you want to make with only 1 year beyond that free agent after next season? Is that a move you want to make? I'm just kind of frustrated.
I would take Lowry.
You take him back?
A dude that can stretch, playing with Mobley, for sure.
I'd think about it. I mean, you saw him here, again, with Evan Mobley not being who Evan Mobley is, but the teardown, and you do have a lot of other teams that are in full, like the Hawks are selling everything off now. They're going to get rid of everything, and I don't want Trae Young here. God, no, I don't want that. But like all these other moves, and that's where I thought the Cavs would slide in. I thought they'd slip into some of these other moves.
Do you think it's more that Kobe Altman truly is standing his ground on this core four and running it back, or do you think that maybe Darius's market with his horrible season and big contract truly are just tanking everything, and Kobe's not just going to make a trade for trade's sake?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think I might need a trade for trade's sake. Does it work? And if they really want to sit there and try to sell me that and we'll find out today when Kenny Atkinson gets introduced. I want to talk about that in a minute. When they introduce Kenny Atkinson today, there will be questions. Do you think that these guys can coexist? Do you want to see what this lineup looks like with all four? And if Atkinson is like pounding the table, yes, I can get this to work. Yes, I need to see these guys. Then maybe I can kind of understand Kobe Altman to make a move. But people are just forgetting that if you trade away Darius Garland, you're getting something back. It's not like you're cutting him. And I think people are kind of forgetting you will get a piece that helps this team. To your point, Ryan, I'm not asking Kobe Altman to make some horrible move just to get rid of Darius Garland. I need him to get this move back. And maybe that's why this has not happened, because he hasn't found the piece that he's looking for. Well, like, oh my God, there's just got to be something, right? It's got to be something. I'm fine with Brandon Ingram. I'd take him back. Is that the trade? Is that the one? Are they really going to want Darius Garland now and after they got DeJounte Murray? I doubt it. I doubt it very much. So now you've limited your pool even further if they actually want to make this move. And, I mean, how much do you buy into Atkinson? Are you feeling positive that Atkinson is a guy that can get the most out of it? I just go off of what I started with. I don't see too many guard-dominated teams that are really good. I don't. They all have what? Wings or bigs that get them to where they need to go. I got a couple of bigs. I'm frankly void of the wing right now. I don't need two. I have one. Donovan Mitchell's better than Darius Garland. He is. Keep Donovan Mitchell, and you move on from Darius Garland. So I see how the rest of this is played out, and I'm not saying the Cavs are getting left behind because there's still plenty of time to go, and none of these moves have a direct impact on what the Cavs are going to try to do. I was kind of hoping, Ryan, the Cavs could sneak into a 3-team trade or something like that, like make the money work here. At this point, we have a couple of trades. It's mostly signings, and here we are. But here's kind of where maybe I'm starting to get a little anxious about this. I know the Cavs need to make a move. I know they got to do something. The window is now open. Other teams are doing things. When do we show up? When do we do something? Because I will be in the boat. I didn't want to run it back. And Kenny Atkinson is step one. That's fine. You had no choice there. That was done. Now I'm asking them to do the thing to improve the team, because running this team back with everybody that's on it is not good enough for me.
I'm just looking at this list of free agents, though, and there's no way.
Don't look at free agents. It can't be free agents. You got no money. Don't worry about free agents. Don't worry about that. You might as well click right off that list. Ain't nobody. Who's on there? Tyrese Maxey just signed this morning. He's gone. Who's number one? LeBron ain't coming back. OG Anunoby already signed. Who's there at 7?
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Oh, bring him back? Okay, no thanks. Don't need him.
DeMar DeRozan.
Don't need him.
I mean, that's really it.
Yeah. Clay, everybody's worried about where Klay Thompson's going to go. Watch him come back to the East, too, by the way. Watch him go down to Orlando, turn them around, help out there.
I think he's going to go to L.A.
But the Lakers, yeah. And that's something, though? LeBron and Klay on the same team, potentially? That'd be fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Don't even worry about free agency. Harden signed already. He's gone. Like, don't even worry about free. This has got to be a trade. This has to be. Because you got to get the Garland contract off the books to make some sort of move. With where the Cavs sit right now, I am anxious. I know that's unfair of me to be. But when I need them to do something, and I don't even have a sniff, Ryan. I don't even have some smoke right now that they got anything cooking. And if I really want to be an a-hole, I could yell about their process of hiring a head coach and why that took so long and you weren't focused on getting your job done elsewhere. Oh, I'm sure Kobe Altman can multitask. I'm sure he did. I didn't want to wake up angry with the Cavs, man. And it's like, again, these are moves that I see the East is getting so much freaking better. You know what I mean? Like, that's the other frustrating. It's a little like the Browns. We finally build it up and we're back, and now you look at a smattering of all the other teams that you got to go through, and they're getting better too.
But I'll try to calm you down a little bit.
Please,
doesn't it seem like every single year, though, it's the same narrative? This conference got a lot better. This team got better. They're a championship contender. This team signed a star. And you just assume that they're going to mesh and they're going to be these playoff teams, like the Sixers, for instance. I'm not going to sit here and say they're not going to be one of the best 5 teams in the NBA, because when you look at the roster, they very well could be. But I mean, same thing with the Suns, and you could go countless other times, like Damian Lillard. Obviously, you can't count on injuries, but it just seems like every year it's the same thing we talk about. And then once it actually hits the ground running, something happens, players don't mesh well, there's drama. I don't know. I just feel like it's every single year we talk about how this X conference got so much better.
Yeah, and I will say, I think it's probably a little more on the forefront of how the playoffs went out. You look back to then trade deadline deals, and you're like, wow, look what the Mavericks were able to do, and wow, some of these other teams really made trades to help their team out. And I would hope that, again, come February, if you're still in this and it's not working, then you go make your move there. I just think it's harder to make those kind of moves. It's harder because your pool, that's my thing. I want the most amount of availability. I want the most amount of moves. I want all this giant pool for Kobe to be able to jump into and make the moves. You get to the trade deadline, it's smaller, it's more competitive because you only have some teams that are tanking and on out. You only have a handful of teams that are in now for the same player. Like, it's going to be harder at the trade deadline. Cavs sit this morning, $10 million below the tax, 5.5 below the first apron. They got nothing. And that's if they re-sign Isaac Okoro, which I saw some weird, I'm not going to say weird, but that's the NBA. They were talking Obi Toppin money for Isaac Okoro. 3-4 years, somewhere in the neighborhood of $60 million for Isaac Okoro? Wow.
You see he got his Twitter hacked?
No, I didn't. What happened there?
He's tweeting some weird stuff, so people think it got hacked.
No. I hope it got hacked. I'll put it that way. Start seeing some weird tweets, then yeah, you kind of hope it is, or they just went off the reservation. I don't know. But like, the Cavs are in a weird spot right now because I want them to do something. I know what I want them to do, and they're not doing it. So I'm angry with that. I'm upset. We get to be introduced to Kenny Atkinson later today. And I picked this up. Chris Fedor sent this out, or it was on his article from Cleveland.com, that Atkinson and Kobe Altman, they were out at Donovan Mitchell's Spider Elite Camp this weekend in Los Angeles. So they went out, meet him, talk to him a little bit, get a little sense of that, introduce others. Apparently there's other Cavs brass there with him. So that's done. And that's great. Here's your contract, Donovan. I'm sure you'll sign it. I'm sure Evan Mobley will sign it. We'll account for that money later. But getting a chance to talk to him and maybe get his final verdict on Darius Garland. I know they needed to go because he's your star player and you got a new head coach. This was important for those two to meet and discuss. I'd also have to imagine that some point of their conversations, they wanted to get Donovan's, I won't say blessing because it makes it sound like Donovan's the one making the moves here, but get his final, all right, what do you think about this? What do you think of Jared Allen? They'll introduce Kenny Atkinson today. Just don't go JJ Redick and you'll be just fine. I almost said JJ Barea. There's a name from the past. Don't go JJ Redick. Don't get all pissed off. I'm sure he won't be. But I want the questions asked. I want the question. What do you see out of Darius Garland? Do you think a 2-guard system in today's NBA works. I want to know a little bit about his pace expectations for this team. We've discussed that a lot on this show here about trying to get the Cavs to play a little bit faster. That's it. It's an introductory press conference. If there's anything that the city of Cleveland and fans should be an expert on, it's introductory press conferences for head coaches, because we've had quite a few here. That's about it, right? Anything else from Kenny Atkinson later today, like, oh, really break down what you like? Like, no. What does he think about Darius Garland? Does he think two guards can work in the NBA? And I want a little pace question. That's about it from him.
Yeah, other than that, the only thing I can really think of is just your evaluation and process of how you're going to get Mobley to really.
That's another good one, too. That's another big part. What are you going to do with Evan Mobley? And I'm sure he's got a plan, and that's part of the reason he got a job. But at this point, it's just words. You know, it's just, oh, I'd like to do this or I'd like to do that. We'll see.
I don't know if he'll put Evan at the 5.
Well, there's a lot.
I know you're saying it has to be.
There are people that I read in the NBA who know more than I do about the game, and they say the Cavs have no choice but to put Evan Mobley at the 5. They have to. That's where they play better. That's what he actually might be better at.
But how can you do that if you still have Jared on your roster?
Well, that's what you got to do. I don't know. And okay, here's the other thing.
You going to put Jared off the bench?
$20 million off the bench? You know what? I don't know. So the money factor into that? I have no idea.
That's why it's like, if that's truly what's best for your team and you're stuck with the money anyway, what's the matter?
Might as well do it, right? Here's the thing with Kenny Atkinson. We have a book. People are acting like they haven't seen these guys play together. Because what are the two instant comebacks that people have? Number one, everybody got hurt at different times of the year. So it was disconjointed. You had 2 of the 4 here, 3 of the 4 here. You could never get a vibe on it. Then the next thing is, well, we don't know what they're going to look like under Kenny Atkinson. People are just discrediting that we actually know what it looks like. We actually know what Donovan Mitchell with Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen looks like. It's not like one of them just showed up like Kenny Atkinson. So I would like Kobe Altman to say, I'm going to trust what I've seen on the floor. I'm going to trust what I see with my own eyes watching this team. And yeah, you hope that you don't have to deal with the rash of injuries like we had to deal with this past season. Nobody would want that. Look at your own eyes. Look with your own eyes. Watch this team. And I don't think there's any way you could tell me that this team is good enough to get where you want to go. Kenny Atkinson's a good coach. He ain't a miracle worker. He can't force one of these guys to grow 6 inches and become a wing. It's not happening. So if I have a body of work and enough of an idea to believe that this roster doesn't work, I don't think Kenny Atkinson solves 2 years of seeing it. And if that's what they think, then Kenny Atkinson's doomed to fail. And that's wrong of me to put that on the Cavs. I don't think so. And again, you believe that he's going to have the ascension for Evan Mobley and be good for Darius or good for Donovan Mitchell. Fine. I'm going to ask them to go back to everything that I've seen over the past 2 years. Everything over the past 2 years to see what you have with this team and go make the move. What is that move? I don't know. Because now you're just small things are starting to tick off. Things are starting to come off the list. People are starting to understand what other teams are trying to do and making their moves. But I need the Cavs to do something. And I think they will. I gotta have the faith and belief. This just started. Today is July 1st. Happy Canada Day to everybody. You celebrate? How would you celebrate Canada Day? Have some poutine?
I don't know.
It's better than Skyline, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they're saying you're a fraud for that, by the way.
Why?
They're saying you clearly liked it, but you were acting.
No. I mean, here's the thing. Like, is it the worst thing I've ever eaten? No. We've been through that list before. I would not. What did I get done? And I said this to you off camera. I wouldn't come back. I would not go back. Like, I ate it. The noodles are fine. The noodles are noodles. The insane amount of cheese, whatever. I got to say the chili was bland. The chili was a little bland for me.
Yeah.
So, like, I was open. To be like, oh, like today. Seriously. If you said, hey, we don't have lunch plans today. What do you want to get? Skyline does not enter the conversation. There's no part of me that goes, you know what? I need to go give Skyline another chance. I need to give them another shot here. Maybe it was a bad batch. I'm good. There's just 1,000 different options out there. Better options. than Skyline. So I was not frauding it up. It was my first time having it, and it left me a little lacking. It did not live up to the hype. And I had a low bar. I had a bit of a low bar. But I'm good. We're all right. Not going back. You got your video, and when the Browns beat the Bengals this season coming up, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll keep our eyes on the NBA as it goes for the Cavs. Wanted to flip over to baseball. Dude, oh my God, that series pissed me off so bad. Because the Guardians looked defeated. You know what I mean? Like, that looked like a series. They needed a day off. They got their day off now. They're on this race towards the All-Star break. They got a long stretch coming. They make the move to Tristan McKenzie. And here's the thing I wanted to bring up about McKenzie. So this came from Stephen Vogt after the game yesterday. So they make the move. Gavin Williams up. Tristan McKenzie sent down. Maybe something more about, well, whatever. Did that not send a message to Logan Allen, Carlos Carrasco? They better get their act together. Like, Logan Allen is he's almost like Tristan McKenzie. Every start, you're like, wait, what's going to go on here? So yesterday, Vogt said this about Tristan McKenzie going down. Quote, "It was a tough day for all of us. We love Tristan. We need him here. We want him here. He is ready to go down, put his head down, and work. Best part of that whole thing, he's ready to go down." And that's where how a player handles that is one of the most important things. He got demoted. That never feels good. But if he understands that this is the best course of action to get him back up here for August and September, to get him right, if he starts with that mindset down in Columbus, good. We're off to a good start. What you don't need is, I didn't deserve this, or I'm pitching injured and they don't respect that, or it's not my fault. You got to understand, I thought there was two paths. Well, I'll give you three. There were three paths that you could have taken with Tristan McKenzie. Number one is what they did. Send him down there, build his confidence back up, work on the mechanics, and we'll bring you back up when you're ready. That's number one. Number two, you keep pitching him and say, you're going to figure this out up here and get after it. But then you risk what you were getting. He was getting shelled. Option three, you just shut him down. And that does nothing for the Guardians this season. And maybe is now the time to revisit the elbow? Is now a time to get him back to the doctors and say, hey, let's just do a little checkup here. Doesn't mean we're having surgery, but it's a time for a little checkup. Are you feeling discomfort? What's going on here? And option three, obviously you wouldn't get him the rest of the year. That's the hard one, because that might actually be the best for Tristan McKenzie's career. And you want to have a real son of a conversation right now? I don't care. I need him this year. That's when you start looking at him as not a person, but as a guy in a sheet and a stat and a roster to say, well, we need this guy.
You think that's a possibility, though? The fact that if he is hurt and you want him to pitch through this, that would actually be better for your team in any capacity?
If I'm trying to go for it now, if I'm trying to do this now.
But he's been abysmal.
Well, but what I'm saying is the best long-term action. Let's say this. They come back and they say, well, he can pitch through this. And he might have to change some mechanics, might have to change how he pitches, but maybe he can come through this and actually give you 5 or 6 starts at the end of the year. Or for the long-term health of him, and again, we don't know this. This is just us spitballing here. They say, well, he really actually needs the surgery for the longevity of his career, for everything. If I'm the Guardians, I'm saying, well, I almost don't care what happens in 2 years because we're in this now. So I'm going to try to use him for what I can to get a start or two out of him late in the year. That's the real cold-hearted conversation, if that was actually a thing. We don't know. Maybe the elbow's fine. Maybe that really is, this isn't what we think it is. Something's wrong. You can't lead the league in walks and home runs and tell me that something is not horribly wrong with Tristan McKenzie. So they send him down to do what? Figure it out, man. Figure it out. And get his confidence back up, maybe change some things, sure. So they made the right move there. But I liked when Vogt said, he is ready to go down. And I wonder if these last couple of weeks, Tristan's not sitting there going, dude, I'm ready to go. Like, I need to go down there to fix some of my stuff here. I'll tell you this. I think Tristan McKenzie likes standing on a major league mound getting shelled. Okay, I don't think that's something he really likes to do. So he was probably waiting for this to happen. Again, get him down there, get it right, try to get him back, and you kind of figure it out from there. That series against the Royals, though, and I try to, again, not live and die with games or with series. I didn't see a fire that I had seen from the guards. And this was coming off a great streak where I was over the moon about that Orioles series. You had a letdown. You had a giant letdown. But you had it against a team that is in your division. We wake up this morning, what is it, 6?
Yep.
6. And it's the Twins. It's not even the Royals that are on you. It's the Twins who have started to turn things around a little bit. I didn't like that. Now, the best thing is you are coming back home where you are the only team in baseball with single-digit losses at home. You have the best record at home in baseball. You come on home for your 4th of July set coming up. You should have no problem taking out the White Sox here. But I just didn't like that series because I saw the Guardians, I think, kind of roll over. I didn't like that. The bats went cold. Okay, get the off day today. Come on back home. We'll kind of figure it out from there, see where the Guardians are going. They officially signed Matthew Boyd. Whether or not he actually shows up for this team in some capacity, you kind of hope not. You know what I mean? Like, you would actually like to believe that you don't need him, but he's a nice option if you have to use him. But it's going to go bad if you see Matthew Boyd having to start real games for us. You know, I hope not. But we'll see how it goes.
That's a good question. It's officially July 1st.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see make a move more right now, the Cavs or the Guardians?
You want to save that for Tuesday tomorrow?
We can do that.
I had another spicy one for football. We can save that for next week, though. Which contract would you rather the Browns get done, Amari Cooper or Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah?
Amari Cooper.
Ooh, really? Answer that quick.
No, not even close for me right now.
Answered that quick.
I'm just saying I'd rather roll out to next year without JOK than Amari Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, is it bad that I'm almost getting ready for Amari Cooper to not get?
You can't, Matt. You can't.
He's under contract.
Yeah, but he can sit out.
Here's my toughest thing about Andrew Berry. And again, add this to the list of the many reasons why I'm not an NFL general manager, because I can get emotional with it, and you can't. The emotion part of it is you're under contract, man. I have a deal. Why should we get penalized for you being under contract? Well, I'm underpaid. I don't give a damn.
I mean, he'll get penalized in terms of fines.
Well, eventually he has to show up, and he could be a malcontent and pissed off, and I'm not saying he will. That is, again, why it's so, here's my thing. Andrew Berry is borderline getting penalized for making a brilliant move. You get what I'm saying? You have him under contract. And that's, I get, and I understand every little bit about what I'm saying and what I'm going to right now is completely loon and insane. You can't do that. These are people. He wants his money, and I want him to get his money, to be honest with you. But that's the bitch of it. Is dude, you're under contract. You got your, we made a good move. And now we don't get to reap the benefits of that.
I don't know what to say.
I know. It's right. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. That's not how the NFL operates. That's not how it operates. Because that is what do you say? The mark of, that's why GMs sometimes can't win. Because they look like geniuses when they sign a guy, mostly rookies, to an amazing deal, and you go, man, are we stealing cash right now? Because this guy's playing worth 10 times amount, not 10, but you know what I'm saying. He's worth tens of millions more of what we're paying him. Usually that's like a GM going, yeah, look at me. And then now you have this situation and you go, can't win. He's under contract. He wants more money. And what am I supposed to do about that? Can't just hand that over.
You can if you want.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, too. It's not about this year. It's about years coming up. Which, what if you went and handed out a bunch of this cash, but then you actually did need it for a Deshaun Watson extension? Andrew Berry has become so good at adding these void years and keep kicking the can down the road and not having to pay this money eventually. Well, somebody's going to have to. And I hope Andrew Berry's here in 10 years when we have $60 million of void money hitting in a year because you just kept moving contracts around. Gets us to the Browns.
Well, if you think Deshaun Watson comes out next year and plays well and you do go down the road of extending him, do you think you have to actually worry about another team giving him money?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think some team is really going to be... Like, let's say Deshaun Watson doesn't have other options. You think he's going to have that much leverage if he plays well because of his history?
Oh, you're talking about in a scenario where, like, he doesn't play well.
No, I'm talking about in a scenario where he does play well.
Oh, he does play well.
And you're looking at an extension, right? And then I'm talking about...
Oh, you play the hardball. Like, dude, we gave you so much money that you didn't live up to. You're going to take a little bath on this one.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what you can say if you're the Browns.
Yeah.
But the realistic part is if there's a team out there willing to pay him that money, then he'll go there. But I'm just saying is, do you think there really will be that team?
It takes one team. It takes one drunk team to say, we love Deshaun Watson coming out of the draft, or we love Deshaun Watson in Houston.
10 years ago coming
That's
out of
what I'm saying. Like, that's all it takes. That's all it takes is one team.
A Mark Davis type.
Now, what is at play here to help the Browns in that scenario? Most NFL teams got their guy. Whether you actually think Bryce Young is good or not, the Panthers don't need him. Falcons don't need him. The Jags don't need him. The Jets might. You know, there's always going to be a few teams that need a quarterback. But we now live in an age where 3/4 of the league doesn't need a quarterback right now. In 2 years, that'll change, right? But for right now, today, at least 3/4 of the NFL doesn't need a quarterback. That's crazy. But yeah, Watson plays well. They could come back to him and say, again, that's the hard ball that you got to play with the contract. You could say, like, dude, we gave you all that money and you were nothing for 2 years. Act like you're going to give us 2 years of service here to make up for the 2 years you didn't give us.
Talk about that goes bad or something. You talk about most hated Cleveland athletes. He's right there.
I mean, he was kind of when he got here.
That's
but I
saying.
mean, you know, like I hope I don't get there. Now, that being said, I heard over to CBS Sports. So this was an aggregate collection of the CBS Sports NFL writers. Shannon McCarriston, Cody Benjamin, Tyler Sullivan, Garrett Podell, Brian Diardo, and Jordan Dejani. They all went through and they each listed a team that will exceed expectations this year and a team that will fail to meet expectations this year. We start with your Cleveland Browns. Ryan, give me one guess on which list you think they are on. Will exceed expectations or fail to meet them?
Well, considering how good we were last year, I'm going to assume they just say we underperformed.
Garrett Podell, the Browns will fail to meet expectations. He writes, the Browns scratched and clawed their way into the postseason last year on the strength of a number one defense in the entire league, the best defense in the NFL, powered by Myles Garrett. The Browns came just the second team to ever make the playoffs with 5 different starting quarterbacks going back to the 1984 Chicago Bears. Here comes Watson. Podell writes, Watson returning from having surgery on his throwing shoulder may be more than a negative than a positive. I would say that. He's got 35th or worse completion percentage, pass yards per attempt, and passer ratings among the 45 qualified quarterbacks since 2022. So again, since 2022, there are 45 qualified quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson is 35th or worst in passing completion percentage, passer rating, and yards per attempt. We know Nick Chubb coming off the torn knee. Naturally, we'll see how it goes there. He says, I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland's offense doesn't hold up their end of the bargain for 2024, which could lead to the Browns missing the postseason even if the defense brings their A-plus game week in and week out. Over under 8.5 wins for the Cleveland Browns. That kind of tells you everything you need to know from Vegas. 8.5.
I'm going over.
I would hope so. And I guess I always got to say this too. Like, as tough as the Browns' schedule is, you don't know what some of these teams are going to be in December or January. Like, that stretch that I think a lot of people are staring at, that really, really tough stretch, January, February. Or, I'm sorry, December, January. You don't know what those teams are going to be then. You don't know what you're going to be. Maybe the offense picks it up. Maybe you need the defense to carry some things early. I kind of actually think the opposite, though. I actually think the offense might come out firing. Because with Dorsey here, you're going to get some little wrinkles. if you're going to get a good version of Deshaun Watson, would it not be the best at the early of the season? I don't need him easing into things. He knows what he's doing out there. So if anything, I could actually see a flip where we start well on offense in the season, and then you need the defense to carry you on out the rest of the way out. Hey, man, I don't care what it looks like. You just got to make the playoffs. So the Browns were on this list of failed to meet expectations. Do you want to run through the rest of the teams that they had on this list, and you tell me if you like them as either exceeding or failing?
Yeah.
All right, you want to run through the exceeding teams?
I mean, what's the baseline for exceeding?
I mean, it's just how these reporters feel.
All right.
They each gave one, so we have a big list here. And here it is. Which teams will surprise people with how well they perform, and then surprise people with how they struggle? So again, like, factor in whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be that these teams make the playoffs, but it's basically like, does this team turn your head one way or the other? Do you turn and go, wow, team number one, exceeding expectations? Shannon McCarrison, the Chargers. Do you think the Chargers, at any point of this season, you're going to turn your head and go, wow, Chargers are actually playing pretty well? I don't. So I'm going to say that that's bad on this list. I don't think the Chargers. And she brings up, obviously they're putting all their money in this Jim Harbaugh thing, but just look at the players that they lost. Look at the changes that they've had on that offense.
I mean, you lost your best 3 offensive players.
Justin Herbert's your best offensive player.
I'm not counting quarterback.
Okay, you take quarterback out of it. Yeah, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, gone. On an offensive line, too, that's got some issues, too. So, do you think at any point in the season the Chargers will turn and say, wow, they're really surprising us?
No.
Okay. Next up, Cody Benjamin, the Minnesota Vikings. I could be talked into that, especially like if McCarthy eventually takes that job.
They're probably going to open with Sam.
Over under 7 wins for them. Over under 7 wins. Do you see the Vikings at all this season exceeding expectations? I could be talked into it.
Yeah, I'll say no. Though.
Okay. Tyler Sullivan. The Jets. See, I don't think so. Because they had a great offseason. That roster is stacked, and they're getting Aaron Rodgers back. They could start the season 8-1, and I would go, yeah, that's kind of what I expected them to do. I think they're void for this list on overachieving expectations. They have to go to a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. They got to at least go to an AFC Championship game with him. So I take the Jets off this list. I don't buy them. Over under 10, New York Jets.
Under.
Garrett Podell, team that will exceed expectations, the Packers. That I buy into.
Yeah, I like the Packers.
I like the Packers. I like Jordan Love. Over-under for them has got to be 11, right? Nope, 9.5. I guess take the over on the Packers.
Yeah, I would take
Tough division with the Lions, but over-under. Jordan DiNardo, the Commanders. There's a lot of hype around Jaden Daniels right now, man. A lot of hype around him. Over-under set at 6.5 wins.
Under.
But do you think there's a point that you will turn and say, wow, look at the Commanders?
I think there will be a point where I see a lot of positives about Jaden Daniels and the future will be bright for him, but I don't expect them to, as a whole team, turn my head now.
Final one, Titans.
No.
I think the Titans suck. And I'm sorry to Brian and Bill Callahan down there, but I think the Titans suck. So I'm not putting them on my list of team to exceed expectation.
No.
All right, other side of things, CBS Sports, NFL teams that will exceed expectations versus ones that will fail. They put the Browns on the list of the failures. Who else joins us? We start the Buffalo Bills. Could see that. They've got no one to throw to. Over-under set for the Bills is 10.5.
No.
Brutal. Very tough there. Next up, Cody Benjamin says the Indianapolis Colts will fail to meet expectations this season.
I think they'll be good.
I think
they'll make the playoffs.
You think so?
So that being said, yeah, I think they'll finish above the Jaguars.
That's interesting. Because I would say that there's 3 teams in the AFC South that think they should make the playoffs. I can make a case for the AFC East, certainly the AFC North, and the AFC South all have 3 teams that each believe they can make the division. And in the AFC North, make the playoffs, excuse me. And I would say probably in the AFC North, you probably have 4 teams that feel like they can make the playoffs.
Yep.
That's crazy. The West is nothing. The West is the Chiefs, maybe the Chargers. That's it. So you're pretty top heavy over here. I think the Colts will be fine. I can see them like missing the playoffs by like a game. But I'll listen to them. Again, failing to meet expectations. Would you say that expectations are to make the playoffs? Who'd you rather say has had a bigger chance to fail expectations? The Jags or the Colts?
The Jaguars. I think they have a higher expectation.
I kind of agree with you. Next up, Tyler Sullivan. The Ravens, a team primed to fail to meet expectations. I love that. I say that every year. I try to put that Maloik and the bad juju on Lamar and the Ravens, and all he does is shove it up my butt. He's really good, but again, change on the offense. No Patrick Queen. They do get Derrick Henry. 11 wins in Vegas for the Ravens. Under. We talked about the Browns. The next up, Diardo says the Bears and Dejani both say the Bears as teams failing to meet expectations. Either one of those. Bears.
I mean, what do you project Bears to win? What, 7
8.5 games. 8.5 games is in Vegas. Oh, I'm sorry. What? No, whoa. They're at 9.
Hell no.
They have a higher win total in Vegas than the Browns?
They're drunk on Caleb.
I mean, they did get some offensive pieces. Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, Kevin Byard, Rome Odunze, and they didn't even put Keenan Allen on there, which is crazy. Yeah, man. 9 for the Bears. That's tough with again, is Caleb everything that you expect him to be? I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. So there are teams over expectations, under expectations coming up there from CBS Sports. All right, I'm feverishly refreshing. I got another Hawk Tua thing. The New York Times references Hawk Tua.
It'll be done in a month.
It will. It lives for a month. And then eventually it'll get sick of it. The thing is, you can't even get on Instagram and like search through without somebody just doing, oh, here's my funny take on Hawk Tua. Here's my funny take on that. No. It'll be done. Like I said, a couple of weeks we'll be through this, and it'll all be said and done. All right, when we come back, we got the morning update, plenty of stories to run through. We'll dabble with the grid today, and I just keep refreshing, man. I'm waiting for some NBA news here. I'm waiting for something to happen. Windy, the Lakers are a step away from being able to bring Klay Thompson to LA.
Yep.
All right, Klay Thompson has spoken with the Mavericks, Lakers, Clippers, and 76ers. Which team would you go to? Lakers, Clippers, 76ers, Mavericks. We don't know the money, but like, let's just pretend that the money is all the same. If you were to go to a team, Luka and the Mavericks, LeBron and the Lakers, Paul George, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey and the 76ers, or Kawhi and James Harden?
I would go to the Lakers. I mean, you don't even have to leave California.
Really? Taxes are a son of a gun out there. I think, how would you not want to go to the 76ers if the money was all the same?
I don't know, dude. Like, I'd rather play with LeBron.
I guess. I mean, there's something, he knows LeBron as well. I mean, they faced him for how long? There's some little storyline there, like fairy tale ending, but sounds like the Lakers are a step away there. Out there to get Klay Thompson. So we'll keep you updated on that. I'd like some Cavs news to kind of trickle through. We'll kind of see how that goes. We'll see if they do anything. Not today necessarily, because we'll hear with Kenny Atkinson later, but we'll get up there coming up this week. Folks, speaking of coming up, the Colleague Championships down at Firestone. Ryan and I will be live from Firestone on Friday the 12th? No. Wait. Dude, we are into July. Can you believe that? We're actually going to be there, dude, a week from Friday, the 12th. We're going to be there. So the Colleague Championships are available. The tickets are available. $25 gets you in. So you start colleaguechampionships.com. You get $25. They get you 2 experiences. Number 1, you get to go to the tournament. You get to see this. I was watching the Senior U.S. Open this past weekend. A lot of those guys will be here in Akron at the Firestone Championships in a week. But you also get, you can get in, $25 gets you into the tournament, but it also gets you access to the Colleague Infinity Zone. It's an interactive area with live music, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame stage, food trucks, activations from LA Golf, X Golf, Horse Soldier Bourbon will be there, which I'm excited for. 1 ticket, 2 experiences. Check it out. colleaguechampionship.com to get your tickets. And then the concerts, oh, Dave told me, is it Friday or Saturday is their military appreciation concert?
I think it's Friday.
Friday night. I kept saying Saturday. Friday night, they will have, in partnership with Folds of Honor, they're going to have a military appreciation concert on Friday night. Dude, $25 gets you in, man. That's so cool. And again, Then you get into the Infinity Zone with the stage, the music, the food, hanging out with us. We'll be there. It's it. And also, we will have some giveaways. I don't know. Can I say? Hold on to that. We're doing some giveaways here at Big Play to get tickets to come on down and see us. It's going to be so great, man. So check it out. July 10th through the 14th, down there at Firestone. PGA Tour champions will be here. It's going to be a lot of fun. CollegeChampionship.com. That's CollegeChampionship.com. Get your tickets. $25 gets you in and the Infinity Zone. We'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to do our show live on Friday. So if you're there, come on up, say hi. We'd love to see you there at the College Championship, collegechampionship.com. All right, let's catch our break. Morning update. We'll dive into the grid. Hour 2 upon us. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right? Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party. Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
All right, welcome back, Fontana Show right here on Big Play. You can follow us on Twitter X. We're past 700 right there at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a subscribe if you can on the YouTube channel. We're on Twitch. And we're also up on Instagram for all the reels. Zach Bryan brings out Hawk to a chick to sing Revival at the Nashville concert.
Yes,
there you go.
Correct.
All right. I feel like everybody's just, just try to jump for their 2 minutes of fame off of this chick, and then you kind of move forward. Does she, I don't know. She make that jump? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. She make the jump?
Say 50-50. Just if she's about that life.
We'll see. I would say try to make all the money that you can right now. And then, maybe in a couple of years. Maybe that's it. We'll see how that goes. Hold on to that. All right. Morning update. Ryan's got the stories, not that. One thing I did want to bring up, we'll get to a little bit later. I'm not on TikTok, but I see sometimes these videos of people that go viral on TikTok. This happened last week with over 1 million views. apparently somebody who's a hoteler, didn't know that was a thing. She began a video. She sent out a video for her 10 tips of things you should never do in a hotel room. Like, when you get in there, things that we all do. She spends her life in hotels, I guess. She said, these are the things that I would never do when you're in a hotel. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Ryan's got the stories. Got to know. Ryan, please take it away. Cavs move? Something?
Not yet. But we'll start with the Guardians. They dropped 3 out of 4 to the Royals.
That's
good news is they
good.
still lead the AL Central by 6 games. Did creep down a little bit, but they are off today before they begin a series against the White Sox. Matt, Tristan McKenzie was optioned to AAA, but Gavin Williams did rejoin the team after a long waited.
I mean, yes. Okay, good news. Gavin Williams back. I'm also one that I'm tempering expectations for Gavin Williams. You can't, you can come out, just 6 innings, 1 run every start. Is that what I'm going to be able to get? Let's calm down, okay? He had a good rookie year. He's still just a second-year pitcher who is coming off of an injury. I'm not ready to sit here and just say the pitching problems are solved for the Guardians. I would love Gavin Williams to come back and be electric and be a formidable guy. I need 3. I got 2 right now in what I think from Ben Lively and Tanner Bybee. I'd love Gavin Williams to join them. Dude, Logan Allen, which... I'm a big Logan Allen defender. At least I was. It's starting to wear a little thin for me.
I never joined that team.
I was on that. And at least he didn't give up any home runs yesterday. But 3 runs over 4 1/3. Not like all his fault necessarily. I don't know. Like, okay, here's where we're at. And I'm just going to say this guy can't think of a better, phrase, and it's not necessarily what I'm getting at, but he's on the chopping block now. Tristan McKenzie was on the chopping block. Solved. Now it's Logan Allen. And every start, I don't want him necessarily going out there with like the worry of like, oh my God, if I pitch poorly, I'm going to be screwed or I'm going to do this. But I need to have a little onus on him to understand, like, you're next, man. You are next. That's it. Like, if you don't get through this and you start over and over again having issues, you're the one that's going to get moved next. Well, again, probably just sent back down. I'm not saying a trade. And nothing has changed about what I want the Guardians to do. I want them to go get an arm. We talked about that article last week, and I think it was Jeff Passan. Nobody's as connected in baseball as Jeff Passan. He's a genius. He's really smart. The Guardians are not trading for a catcher. They don't need a catcher. They frankly don't need anything else on this team except a starting pitcher. If you wanted to get me another bullpen arm, I'll take it, because I'll take as many as I can get. There is only one thing the Guardians have to do, and that is trade for a starting pitcher. And they better do it. They better do it. It doesn't need to be some big splash, but it's got to be something. Matthew Boyd doesn't do it for me, and neither does Gavin Williams. I'm putting this on the team. They have got to go make a move. And again, I keep asking, why are we waiting? The price is only going to go up closer you get to the trade deadline, and you're wasting time by not having somebody in your rotation now. It's an off day. I'll cool my jets. I'll get this Royals series, which just really pissed me off. We'll set it aside. We'll get after it. Better sweep out the White Sox. I'll be feeling good. Get some good starts in here. Go make a move. Go make a move.
Well, no moves for the Guardians as of yet, and no moves for the Cavs as of yet. Awaiting the Donovan Mitchell extension, of course. That is expected, though. That is good news. But Kenny Atkinson, the new Cavs head coach, will have his introductory press conference today, Matt. Give me what you want to hear from him.
Number one, do you think a 2-guard system with Garland and Mitchell can work? Do you think that you can get the most out of those guys and play a winning brand of basketball? Now, his comeback, I'll answer the question for him, right? He's going to sit there and say, well, we like Darius. He's a really electric player. He's a young player. And I'm excited to be able to coach him and see what he has. You'd have to ask Kobe about roster moves and things like that. But I'm excited to be here and coach Darius Garland. That's going to be the response. So that's number one. Number two, I want to know about the pace. I want to know what kind of pace they're going to play at. And then you brought up a good point, Evan Mobley. What do you see? Like, I actually would love this from Kenny Atkinson. And I would phrase the question this way. What singular thing do you want Evan Mobley to work on the most this offseason or improve on the most? Like, when you see his game, what is the one? Don't give me a lot of things. Don't give me a lot of, well, this and that and this and that. What is the one thing? Is he going to say shooting? Is he going to say an outside shot? What is the one singular thing that you're going to improve on with Evan Mobley? That's it. That's it. And he'll be asked about Darius Garland, and he'll be asked about Jared Allen, and how he coached him in Brooklyn, and all that other kind of stuff. That's all just fluff. I want to know, more importantly than anything, I'm going to dissect, and we'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to dissect anything that he has to say about Darius Garland and try to piece together, does he think a two-guard system, the way it's currently constructed with the Cavs, does he think that he can get that to work?
Alrighty, well, one team that did make a move, more than one move,
it's been more than one,
is the Philadelphia 76ers, as they land one of the biggest free agents of this class. Paul George agreed to a 4-year, $212 million max with the 76ers, and just this morning it was announced that Tyrese Maxey is also returning to the 76ers on a max contract. Matt, the East gets stronger.
They have their championship odds jump from plus 1,000 to plus 850 with Paul George coming there to Philly. And I also read this morning from Woj about Tyrese Maxey. He didn't take a deal last year to give the 76ers a little bit of flexibility with their cap and get some things in order for him to then come back this year and get his deal. I think Tyrese Maxey is very good. Oh, man, that came out of nowhere. My allergies have been horrendous. Because now all the rain, all the pollen gets released again for as hot as it was. I'm dying over here, man.
Dude, my jaw.
You get bad allergies?
I don't know if it's allergies or my wisdom teeth coming in. My jaw is just killing
Your
me.
wisdom teeth coming in? I thought you got them taken out.
No, I went to schedule. I went to get an appointment. They told me I didn't. But now I'm thinking maybe they were wrong.
You know, I hate to say it, too. There's another strain of COVID going around.
Is that jaw pain a symptom?
I don't know. If you WebMD anything, it tells you basically have
cancer.
cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, jaw pain, you had a little fever, this, that, that. My allergies bugging on that bad. Sorry. You ever sneeze so bad, too, and then it, like, hurts your arm? No. I always have a fear, like, I might have a heart. Like, when you get a really good, like, big sneeze,
well, they say
and you feel it in your...
They say if you try to stop a sneeze, that's when you can have...
Oh, I stop sneezes all the time.
They say it's not good.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Not the, like, this and you hold it in. I had a friend growing up that every sneeze, he'd go like this and hold it in. That's not good. Yeah. Do you want to know a way to get to stop a sneeze? You ever heard of purple elephants? When you feel a sneeze coming on, just say purple elephants to yourself, and it stops the sneeze.
I don't believe that.
No, it's not a thing. It works. I do it all the time. I couldn't do it there because I was talking.
How does it even make sense?
You trick your brain into stopping yourself.
Why
to sneeze.
purple elephants?
Anything. But like that's an easy thing for you to just say purple elephants.
I'll try and remember that.
Try remember. Next time you feel like you have to sneeze, say purple elephants. And sometimes it works or not. But that I swear to like, and obviously they say God bless you because your heart stops for a second when you sneeze. But like I get it. Like that would hurt my arm. I'm 35. Just put me in the ground. I'm over. I'm falling apart. Sorry, I'm better now. What were we talking about? Before I sneeze? Tyrese Maxey. Who's more important for Joel Embiid's success, Tyrese Maxey or Paul George?
I'd say Tyrese.
Good answer. Good answer. I'm just asking for the conversation. Is Paul George over the hill? Is he kind of like, I think...
I mean, again, for a guy that's what, 33?
Well, and got what, 200 and something odd $million? What was it? What did he get?
212.
212. Now, there's rookies getting 212 like Evan Mobley's going to get. What I'm saying is, I think the best version of Paul George is kind of in the past, so you got to pay him for what you think he might be. But that's insane. That's insane that he got that money when I think the best version of him is in the past. We'll see. Everybody's freaking out about Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah.
He had $87 million. $87 million. Cavs let him walk away a couple of years ago. But to each their own. Good for them.
All right, well, one free agent that is still on the market that is expected to be signing somewhere pretty soon is, of course, Golden State's Klay Thompson. Matt, now I bring this up because I want to ask you.
Yes.
This will officially mark the end of the Warriors dynasty, and I know it's probably officially over a couple years ago, but where does that team rank amongst the greatest dynasties?
I mean, the thing is, I can't really go back to the Boston Celtics, winning 11 straight and that team. So the dynasties of my lifetime, the Bulls, which is probably number one for like the hype and that kind of stuff. The 2000s Lakers, which I think, again, could have won more. Would you put the big three of Duncan, Parker Ginobili as a dynasty with the Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to.
Okay.
And it's like, are we separating the dynasty without Kevin Durant? I know you have to include him, but it's like, it was almost two separate dynasties.
With the Warriors you're talking about? Yeah, a little bit. 'Cause, I mean, that was a hired gun. You go win a championship.
One, two with him, 1, 2 with him.
The Pistons of the 2000s, like that really wasn't a dynasty. The Celtics aren't a dynasty from then. So then you get into Miami, which I think was a failed dynasty. Like 2 and 4 years, fine. But I would say, would you agree with this statement? A dynasty starts at 3 championships. Your minimum is 3. So then LeBron with the Heat, LeBron with the Cavs, those don't count.
I would say
3. I would say at the stretch run of this dynasty.
What if you go to the finals, though, like 4 out of 6 years?
Did you win 3? I think dynasty starts with 3 championships. So I would say
the Chiefs just entered dynasty.
They just entered dynasty. They just entered dynasty.
I'll listen to that.
So again, of the dynasties, 90s Bulls, 2000s Lakers, 2010 Warriors, and did the Spurs win 3 together? Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, they did. So I would say they're probably the second best because I would say they're behind the Bulls, just ahead of the Lakers, then the Spurs, right? If you talk about my qualifications of winning 3. Tim Duncan and the Spurs won 5 championships, 99, 03, 05, 07, 2014. So you'd say their championship, their dynasty was 03. So really the order goes this, is chronologically. The Bulls into the Lakers, into the Spurs, into the Warriors. And now we have, 7 straight different teams that have won a championship, or 6 straight, whatever it is now. It's tough, man. It's tough to build. So, yeah, I would say that's probably the fair order. I think that's probably where I would look at it.
Alrighty, last year in the morning update, Matt. What's the last movie you saw in the theaters?
The Batman. It's been that long for me. It really has. So, like, I want to go see Deadpool. It's just about, like, getting out. I think here's what's now, I know nobody really cares about my personal life, but here we are anyway. So the baby is starting to sleep a little bit better. We have a 1-year-old. She struggles a little with the sleep. It is what it is. So the real opportunity for my wife and I now is after they go to sleep. So like 8 o'clock, we're a little free. So we're getting ready for my daughter's birthday party. So like what I would do is I'd put the kids to bed. My wife would go lay down and I'd go work from like 8 to 10:30 at night, sweeping this, clean the garage, whatever. So now I'm like, all right, we did that for a couple of weeks. Now I'm like, let's keep that going, right? 8 o'clock, she goes out to dinner with her friends. Great. I know it's late, but I think that's where I can get like an 8:30 showing of a movie to try to get out. So I think I've earmarked Deadpool Wolverine. I really want to go see that in theater, so I might do that. The reason you bring it up.
The reason I bring that up is because I didn't even realize this was a film coming out, but releasing on November 22nd of this year, Gladiator 2.
Yes.
I didn't realize that's a plot. Will you be going to see that?
No.
So with Gladiator, I haven't seen the first Gladiator.
Really good.
Very good.
Joaquin Phoenix plays the antagonist.
So do you know and Russell Brand, or Russell Crowe, obviously.
Yes.
Do you know the plot of Gladiator 2?
No.
Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
The Gladiator 2 story will take place 20 years after the events of the original film and follow a now-grown Lucius as he takes on Maximus's legacy. And I guess Lucius was the son of Lucilla. Never seen it, so I don't know what that means.
I don't know. So wait, is Joaquin Phoenix in this? No.
No, it is the movie stars Paul Mescal as Lucius and Pedro Pascal. Denzel Washington's in it.
Wait. So Russell Crowe's not even in this?
Don't believe so.
Wow. I mean, it comes back to the issue in Hollywood.
And Joseph Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, and he is in the fantastic. That's weird because he and Pedro Pascal are in Fantastic Four together. That's interesting. No, I mean, all they do is just remake movies of 20 years ago. Like, there's no original ideas in Hollywood anymore. So, like, let's make a sequel to Twisters. Why the hell would I ever need a sequel to Twisters? Why? Why do I need a sequel to Gladiator? We're like 2 steps away from them like brushing off the Pirates of the Caribbean. They're like, we're going to bring this back again. How many more Lord of the Rings movies can we make?
I mean, look what they're doing with Star Wars.
Well, yeah, that's often, what's the other one that's coming out? Oh, they're remaking Beverly Hills Cop. Why? I mean, I think that's going to be on Netflix. Like, it's not going to be like a theater release. But like, they're just going to like, hey, what movie was really popular 20? You want to know why? Because they're trying to get after my generation. They're trying to tug at my heartstrings. I don't know what to. They make another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. You know I'm going to go see it.
So is the next movie you go to theaters for Batman 2?
Yes, that's 2 years away, so I hope that it's not that. Well, I'll get Superman before that, because the Batman's not
You'll
even...
be going to see Superman at theaters.
Yeah, that I will go see. Because those are, like, especially with the Batman movies, if I got a spoiler, if somebody told me something about the movie before I saw it, that would just drive me up.
You can't go on Twitter.
So the month that the Batman came out,
Did you just mute it?
I just muted like 15 different words. I muted Zoe Saldana and Robert Pattinson and the Batman, the Penguin, the Joker. Like, I just muted it all for a month until I actually got to go see the movie. Like, Superman's important to me, so I want to go see it. Like, Deadpool, they released another trailer, so now they have Sabretooth in it. I thought they could have held on to that. The other thing is, like...
That's why I don't watch trailers anymore.
Well, I have friends that dude, stop watching trailers, man. Stop watching. They let too much out.
Yeah.
Casey.
Bro, they released the whole Batman scene when he was had the bomb strapped to him.
Oh yeah.
I saw that whole scene before I saw the movie.
So the other thing is, and my buddy Casey, he's got a good rule. He goes, I will watch the first trailer and that's it. I will watch the first trailer and that's it, because he knows me and he knows I get hooked on the trailers. So, like, I've seen so much with Deadpool, Wolverine. I hope that they've held some back for the movie, and I assume that they have. So that's probably number 2. But my issue is, I'm playing there's a game to be played of, like, I know I'm not going to be able to get tickets the week of, because tickets are just going to be, like, pre-sales already through the ass, right? So if I try to, and again, I'm threading a needle of, I need a showing at 8:30. I need a showing at 8:30, 8:40, maybe 9 o'clock. That's it. To go see a 2-hour movie and then get home on a Tuesday night, right? So I'm trying to thread that needle. So then if I go, I'll just wait another week, tickets will be easier to get, then I'm playing the game of everything getting spoiled for me. So that'll probably be the next movie that I'm, like, most excited about. But it's nuts to see that. There goes Tobias Harris.
Yep. 2 year,
$52 million with Detroit. There were some people that thought he might work here in Cleveland for the right price, but we'll have to see. Short week. Let's knock it out. Let's feel good. Get the mo rolling. Browns are in it. It's a good thing we didn't have Super Bowl champ, because we don't have any. Well, I guess they would have played for the Browns potentially. But you know how it works. Up and down, left and right. Player for each team. I've already got some that are speaking to me. Go.
Let's go, Mr. Big Ben.
Yeah, sure. Eli Manning. I don't know who's on the Bears Super Bowl teams.
I mean, was it not? Did Walter Payton ever win one?
I don't know. I really don't. I'm assuming so. Like Sid Luckman, maybe. And again, I'm assuming won the Super Bowl with that team. I don't know. I really have no idea.
I don't either.
Do you want me to Google?
I mean, who are the most Bears legacy players? We should know this, but...
Well, yeah, Walter Payton.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Sid Luckman.
I don't even know who that is.
He's quarterback. But I have no idea.
You wait?
Yeah, might as well. Let's see what else we can figure out. All right, let's knock out all the Browns. Yep. Joe Hayden. Do you have one Bengals Steelers? Oh, there. Browns, John. Yeah. Odell. Does not help the rarity score today, but that's okay. And then, ooh, that's a good one. Oh, Deontay Foreman.
He hasn't played yet, though.
He hasn't played yet. You're right. Good call. Good call. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, Tashawn Gibson works. Safety. Gip with a B. Gibson.
I did.
Oh, did you?
There's
Sorry.
a lot of Gibsons. I guess. How do you spell Tashawn?
T-H-A-S. Tashawn Gibson. You don't have... Are you sure you don't have Gibson up there?
Isn't it Gibson?
No, Gip. G-I-P.
Gip.
Gibson. Tashawn Gibson. Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right. All right.
Bengals Steelers.
That's an interesting one. That's a really interesting one. Is there
Bengals Giants? Is that not Eli Apple?
Yeah, that works. Right? Yeah. And then Bengals Bears. Oh, Andy Dalton. Bengals Steelers. That's a good one. Because Mr. AFC North himself, Kevin Zeitler, doesn't. Does Larry Ogunjobi work there? I know he went to the Steelers. Did he not play with the Bengals? Yeah. Right? Right? Or did he just get there?
No, I'm almost positive.
All right, go Larry Ogunjobi, who also works for the Browns very clearly. Nice. All right, yeah. Then I
mean, Walter Payton has to have a ring, no?
I think so. I don't know how he couldn't. Yeah. Yeah. Walter Payton. All right. Easy one for us. Lay it up. 3 minutes. Done and done. Most popular? Joe Hayden.
We got most of them.
Did you?
James Harrison was the most for Bengals Steelers.
He played in Cincinnati?
I guess so.
Huh. All right. Well, easy one, easy peasy. All right. I mentioned this earlier. This came out from a TikToker that said the 10 things you should never do in a hotel. So this is actually a longtime hotel employee who put these tips out on TikTok and went viral over the weekend for the 10 things that she would never do when getting in a hotel or signing up for a hotel or anything like that. Number 1, if there's more than one person staying in the hotel, always add their name to the reservation. If you, the primary person, happens to be gone and the other person gets locked out, they go up to the front desk, their name's not on the reservation, they can't get a key, they don't get in the room, period. So they say when you check in, your name can always be on the reservation, but add a second person always to allow them to get into the room. I mean, have you ever run into that problem? Like, that they don't, especially if you walk up and you just give the name of the room and the number. I've never had a problem of them not giving you the key. I don't know. So it's like if you and I were staying in a room, my name's on it. If you walked up and said, hey, Fontana, we're in room 123, I got locked out. Isn't that not enough to suffice to get you a key?
I've never had that. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever had
something
a problem.
very simple, though, to like just be sure.
Yeah. Next up, never use the remote control without wiping it down with a Clorox wipe. They say it's never touched by the cleaning crew. And everybody's picking boogers and laying on the, putting their hands on the remotes. They say don't ever pick up the remote without using a Clorox wipe. Kind of off of that. Don't ever use the actual glass cups in the hotel room. She said styrofoam and paper are fine. She said, I'm talking about the glasses that are sitting there for use. Don't ever use them without washing them. Because they put that little, paper thing over top of them to try to keep them clean. But she kind of says that the majority of people don't use them, so they've been sitting in that room for, months without being cleaned.
Seems valid.
And I can't tell you the last time I've actually used a cup.
I don't know if I've ever have.
Styrofoam and paper are one thing. Also continues on. Always sign up for the point program. Whatever point program is at that hotel. Back in the day, you used to have to really accumulate a lot of points to get some things. She said now they will actually allow you to use hotel points for other things. Like she says, some of these hotels, you can transfer your hotel points to Amazon points. So she said always sign up for the hotel points. Next up, this is one, and she says, this is something that you, me, and everybody has done when they get in a hotel room. They lay on the bread spread. And you think they changed the sheets. She says they do, but they don't cover the duvet. So when you lay on the duvet, think about this. What do? They come in, they pull the duvet back, and then they take the sheets that you're actually touching and sleeping on out, and they just fold the duvet back.
The hell is a duvet?
The big top, the big blanket on top.
Isn't that just called the
comforter?
Comforter?
Same thing. Duvet, comforter. It's probably more of a comforter than it is a duvet. She said, do not ever sit, let alone lay on the comforter.
These are all germaphobe ones.
Kind of, but I mean, that's what you're getting when you get in a hotel room. She goes, those things are not washed often. Now, she says upper scale hotels are actually better about this. If you notice the bedspreads, the white ones, they're actually like sheets, flat sheets. So they fold into people using them more often. Those are okay, but if it's not and it's an actual bedspread, Those things get cleaned like once a year. She said, do not sit on it, fold it off of the bed, and leave it there.
Did she recommend bringing a black light?
Oh, I don't think you want to see what's going on in there. I don't think you want to see what's going on in there. And then she had tip 2, or I don't really want to have to walk or watch her entire TikTok. Is she going to write them? I hate TikTok. I'm not on it. No. So she didn't run through all of them. She did it in a second clip that I'd have to click and walk through and listen to. But I thought that was interesting of all the things you should not do in a hotel room. Do you have any rules about when you go to a hotel room? I don't touch the minibar.
I was just about
don't
to say
touch
that. That's
the minibar.
exactly what I was
Don't
gonna say.
do it. Don't do it.
Unless it's under your name.
Right. If it's under somebody else's name, sure, fine, do what you want. I'd go find a convenience store, go get your drinks, your whatever, your water. Do not touch the menu. I actually don't buy anything at the store, at the hotel. I'm afraid to even look, because like some of those mini bars, you think like, oh, I'll just buy a water and I'll replace it with another one or something like that. That stuff gets me so freaked out though. And then you hear stories about kids that get into it, and then they get a hotel. The parents get a bill for $300 because they ate goldfish or they ate some fruit rolls or something. And you're like, what the hell's going on here? The amount of money that they charge for those mini bars is insane. When was the last time you were in a hotel room? You were at Put in Bay, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, it was an Airbnb anyway. I don't know the last time I was in a hotel room.
I can't tell you last time I was in one. Last time my wife and I were in a hotel room. Because even the trips that we take, the last couple trips have all been Airbnbs.
Yeah.
I think the last hotel room, no joke, was her friend's wedding, which was 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Yeah, like trips, work trips, not really. Okay, are you the type of person when you get into a hotel with your bag, do you just throw your bag in the corner and keep everything, or do you actually put stuff in drawers?
No, I keep it in the bag.
I keep it in the bag. It's one of those things like in a hotel room, especially if like you're staying with buddies or everybody just pick your own corner. Everybody pick a corner, throw all of your crap into the corner. When you take off your dirty clothes, just throw those in a pile. Yeah. Take your stuff out of your suitcase, and on the final day, you just throw everything back in the suitcase, and we're on our way.
Yep.
On our way. That's how you do it. All right, we're going to do time up when we return. We'll run through any canon today. We'll run through some birthdays. We got it all coming up with a little bit of time up. We'll dive back into the Cavs. We get ready to go for Kenny Atkinson's introduction later today. And a few other things I want to touch on as well. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here. Twitter, follow us at Matt Fontana Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow us on Twitch. We're also up on Instagram. Time up comes your way next.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone. And at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today. All right?
Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party.
Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
All right, welcome back, Fontana Show right here on Big Play. We'll do time up. Do you want a challenge today? Do you want me to issue a little challenge today?
I'd love one.
So today, July 1st, you know what becomes official in college football? Conference realignments are official today. I've got the power of 5 conferences. Do you think you could name all the teams in each of the Power 5 conferences?
Honestly, probably not.
Okay, so I didn't think that. Now, perfection is insane. Do you think you can name half of them?
Yes.
Because the challenge is how insane this is actually going to be this year.
I'm down to try.
All right, we'll do that as soon as you're done with timeout. It's a lot. It's a lot of schools.
Oh, I know.
But what I want to say is, like, we're going to watch a college football that we don't even know. Like, Ryan is an above-average sports fan, and I'm setting the bar at 50%. That's not a knock at you, man. That's how bad college football has gotten, where I just need you to give me half of the teams that are in these respective conferences to see how you can get it. So hold on to that. We'll do that when we're done with timeout. Of course, welcome to July, a very important day as we get ready to go. Coming up for the 4th of July, but we start 1 year ago today. And I know you're not a hockey fan, but my Blue Jackets did something really stupid 1 year ago today. They hired Mike Babcock as their head coach. Now, I sent a tweet this day 1 year ago saying this was a great hire. He didn't even make it to the start of the season. They fired him after he allegedly went through his players' phones. They tried to defend him and say that this was an exercise of like bringing them together and all that. They hired Mike Babcock.
How did he get access?
So here's what allegedly the story was. Boone Jenner is the captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Babcock called him into a meeting. And they're talking and they're doing this. One side of the story goes that he asked Boone for his phone to see pictures of his family and to get a little bit of insight of like what he is behind the scenes. Like, show me a picture of your daughter or show me a picture of your dog. The other side of it was he was trying to go through his phone to see what he was doing. What was he liking on Instagram? What was he doing on social media? And you never got the clear story of it, but allegedly he did that and then put some of that stuff like on a screen for the rest of the team to see. Allegedly. You never got the full story on what happened. So they tried to downplay this, and even Boone Jenner came out and goes, no, you guys are misreading this story. That's not really what happened. Well, the Blue Jackets fired him, I think sometime in August or something, in September, when this all really hit. So he had the job for a couple of months. He got fired. It is what it is. This day, 2020, Indians had their report day for the shortened season that would start a couple of weeks later for COVID year. I mean, I usually don't like bringing this kind of stuff up, but I think it's relevant. This day, 2019, Tyler Skaggs was unfortunately found dead, and I know that now they have that. He's doing supposedly his tell-all with subpoena to tell him how to get the drugs and Matt Harvey and all that other kind of stuff. An unfortunate story this day, 2019. This day, 2018, LeBron officially signs with the LA Lakers, day one of free agency. We all knew he was going. I'm sure he doesn't regret it. He gets to play with his son now. He won a championship. Cried. Happy tears or sad tears?
Sad tears.
Sad tears.
I'd won too many beers, and I got the news.
I mean, it's sad because it's over. You know, what's the old saying? Don't be sad because it's over. Be happy because it happened. That's how I look at it with LeBron. I never wished him ill will. Now, the first time I wished him ill will, I didn't want him to win jack shit down there with Miami. And I was rooting hard against them. He goes to LA. I was like, dude, I hope you do well. I really do. You know, I don't want it to be at the expense of the Cavs, but the Cavs were rebuilding at that point. So I wished him well when he went to LA, and I would say it all kind of worked out. This day, 2016, the Indians set a 14-game record win streak with a 2-1 win over the Blue Jays. Do you want to go back to 2016 and get you a little bit of the box score from that day?
Let's do it.
All right. Still the Indians at the time. Cleveland Indians. Schedule and results. Dude, we went 94-67. Won the Central on our way to the World Series in 2016. All right, July 1st, 2-1 win. Your winning pitcher that day was Trevor Bauer? Hang on, because he didn't get the start. Trevor Bauer got the win because this game, oh my God, I remember this game. That's right. July 1st, 2016, it went 19 innings.
I remember that.
Against the Blue Jays because Trevor Bauer got the win in relief because he had to pitch 5 innings. Josh Tomlin got the start. He gave up 1 run. Dan Otero, Tom Gorzolani, Jeff Manship, Brian Shaw, Zach McAllister, Tommy Hunter, and Jabba Chamberlain. Combined to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They went 7 scoreless innings of relief. Trevor Bauer went another 5 innings of relief scoreless to get the win. 19 innings. Your lineup. Carlos Santana led off. He was 2 for 8 in the game. Jason Kipnis batting second, 1 for 7. Lindor batting third was 3 for 9. Mike Napoli 1 for 9. Jose 2 for 8. Lonnie Chisenhall with a day. He went 5 for 8 at the plate.
Oh, God.
Yan Gomes eventually got pinch hit for. Michael Martinez, Tyler Naquin, Rajay Davis, and Chris Jimenez all got at bats that day. You won it in 19. I got to add that. Why do I not have that? Game went 19 innings. Trevor Bauer got the win going 5 innings of scoreless relief. Wow. Wow. How did we win it in the 19th? Hang on. Play-by-play. The 19th inning. Oh, Carlos Santana hit a home run. A solo home run in the 19th inning.
Where does that rank amongst the longest games ever?
That's a great question.
How was that game? 7 hours? 8 hours?
Probably. Hang on. I can tell you right now. Stand by. 19 innings. It took 6 hours and 13 minutes to play that game. The longest game in Major League Baseball history happened on May 1st, 1920. It was a 26-inning game between the Brooklyn Robins and the Boston Braves that eventually was called due to darkness. That is recognized as the longest games in as the longest game in history.
Could you imagine if that happened in Game 1 of a doubleheader?
Yeah, right. I'm trying to see, like, because I think. Oh, okay. So here's the weird thing. How about this, dude? They played 26 innings in 3 hours and 50 minutes.
I don't even know how it's possible.
Because the average time in 1920 was an hour 50. So, like, could you, like, we were bitching about 3 because I'm assuming there was no TV. There was no, like, hey, we're coming back from break. It was guys run out in the field and play. No pitch clock, nothing. So that was the longest game in history, but certainly the Guardians and Jays damn close to that. This day, 2015, a report that Kevin Love will accept a 5-year, $110 million extension with the Cavs. Isn't that funny? 110, it's nothing now. Isaiah Hartenstein. Think about it. Isaiah Hartenstein signed a deal that is in the realm of what Kevin Love got with the Cavs back in 2015. I'm going to send that tweet after the show. That is insane to me. This day, 2015, I remember this game too. Carlos Carrasco was 1 strike away from a no-hitter.
I remember
Was that the Tigers?
It went right over Kipnis' head.
That's right. Was that the Tigers?
It was the Rays, I believe.
Rays. Oh, yeah. You're right. I remember that now. All right, this day, 1987, WFAN launched the first ever 24-hour sports talk format. And isn't that shocking? It took to 1987 for a 24-hour sports station to take off. And obviously, WFAN, Mike and the Mad Dog, legendary. You know, now it's all over the place. Oh, no. They were there. And then, I mean, look at where we're at today. ESPN Radio, it's everywhere. This day, 1987, the first ever Sony Walkman went on sale. 79. So cassettes. Do you even know what a cassette is?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have your own one?
No.
There you go. This day, 1951, Bob Feller threw his third career no-hitter. He beat the Tigers 2-1. They scored a run on an error, stolen base, and another error. to score a run, but he threw his third no-hitter in history. This day, 1931, Cleveland Municipal Stadium is completed. This day, 1903, the first ever Tour de France was held. I died. I did the 25-mile on Velasano, and I about passed out.
I don't know how to ride a bike.
Are you serious?
I can't believe I just admitted it on live.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't really?
No, I never did it.
I mean, and the sad thing is, it's probably more of a generational thing, like where I think your dude.
I can't believe I just said that on live air.
Are you embarrassed by it?
A little bit.
Do you want to change that? I have a bike. We're putting my kids on a training wheel.
I'm sure it'd be super easy now.
It is. Yeah, you're coordinated, dude. That's like, I think it's the thing, not to like get back to like generational type thing. When I was growing up, your bike was your life. You had no choice. Like, my parents would drop me off places, sure, but your bike was your life. And it was like a car. You wanted to show your bike off to your friend. When I was a kid growing up, everybody wanted a dyno. D-Y-N-O. Those were the bikes we had. They were like $500-$600. And I never blamed they were like, we're not buying you a bike. Like, we'll get you one from Walmart. This one's $80. It's a little bit better. But you had no choice but to have a bike. That was the only way you got around. You want to go up to the batting cages, you put your bat in your bag, and you get on your bike and you ride up there. You want to go over to your friend's house, go ride your bike. You had no choice but to have a bike. So that is a little shocking that you don't know how to run. Obviously, today's Bobby Bonilla Day. $1.19 million every July 1st. He still has another 11 years. He still has another 11 years. From 2011 to 2020 or 2035, Bobby Bonilla gets his $1 million. He makes more money than Brock Purdy per year. Isn't that insane? Very happy birthday goes out to former Indians pitcher Chris Perez, Ohio State quarterback Craig Krenzel, Kurt Coleman, Ohio State safety, Garrett Gilbert, Sheldon Day, former Browns defensive tackle, Princess Diana, Missy Elliott, Carl Lewis, Pam Anderson, Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Farr from MASH, and Cleveland Parmesan, Alan Ruck. I tried to get into Succession. Didn't really do it for me, but obviously Cameron and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. All right, one movie for you. Released this day, 1991. A lot of people consider this one of the best sequels ever made. It's not The Godfather. And it's a movie that the sequel was actually better, in my opinion, than the original and is vastly more popular than the original. This movie has spawned several sequels, including ones recently made and a television show that flopped and failed.
Is it Star Wars something?
No. There's a sci-fi element to it, very much sci-fi element. All right, your twist is this. The main character in this whole series, he was the bad guy in the first one. He comes back in this second one as the good guy in this film released this day, 1991. Sci-fi robots. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, Terminator.
Terminator 2. I'll give that to I'm sorry, I spoiled it. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This day, 1991.
Never really got into it.
It's better than the first. Don't even watch the first one. You might as well just watch it. Now, all you have to know is, I guess you got to know why he's getting it. So in the second one, he's brought back to protect the kid. You just got to know who the kid is and why he's important, but they kind of explain it in the second one. So you really don't need to watch the first one. You can. It's not, I like the second one 1,000 times better, but now you have Terminator Genesis and you have the Sarah Connor Chronicles and it's all spun off into a bunch of stuff. I don't want to watch 70-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger play the Terminator anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it. Don't nobody need to see it. So there it is. It's time out for today. All right, we're running out of time here because I wanted to see if you could do this conference realignment thing. So today is the day that all this conference realignment works. So I'll just do it this way. If you can just get half of every of the conferences to see if we can do.
All right.
Do you want to start with a conference? These are the Power 5. The ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10,
You give me the conference.
Okay. We'll just start.
I got to get half of every conference.
Let's just do 3 then. Because we'll just, let's do 4. Let's do the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, and the Pac. And then the SEC. God bless it. SEC, Big 12, Big 10, ACC. Because I'm off Bill Bender. Shout out to, we got to have Bill on, actually. I'll message him. I'd love to talk to him this week. He's sporting news. He's got the Pac-12 on here. There's 2 teams, Oregon State and Washington State. And then he's got independents. So those don't count. So I'll give you 4. Can you get half of the 4? Do you want to start with the ACC?
You can start with whatever we want.
ACC it is.
All right.
So I will tell you there are 17 teams.
Okay. ACC. Well, Duke.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy them into a thing because then I can just tick them off as you get them.
Okay.
Okay.
Duke.
Correct.
Clemson.
Correct.
Florida State.
Correct.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Wow, why am I drawing? North Carolina State?
North Carolina State.
Syracuse?
Yep. Going basketball. Smart thing to do. Some big ones you're still missing.
No, Kansas is Big 12.
Right.
Oh, North Carolina.
Correct.
South Carolina? Are they ACC?
No. Gamecocks are in the SEC.
So am I half yet? No, I'm at 7.
You have one.
Oh, Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, correct. You have 1. You have 4. You have 9 left. So you need to get 2 more. 2 more to hit your threshold of 50%.
Louisville?
Correct.
I need 1 more?
1 more to hit your threshold.
Oh, come on, Ryan. Come on.
There are a couple that are just like ACC standards too that you're missing. You're not getting. The reason I brought it up is because there's teams that are coming in that are insane. You could get those, but there's also, I would say, 2 on here that are just legacy programs.
Really? Wow. I'm tripping. Maybe I can't.
One when I say you're going to kick yourself.
Really?
You're going to kick yourself completely for
ACC?
Yeah. This is a team you always think is in a different conference because they are so dominant, but no, they've been in the ACC forever.
I feel like I said all the good ones.
No, I mean, yeah, relative. Like, this is a storied program. I wouldn't say they're really good right now, but this is a storied program. Multiple national championships.
In football?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of felons.
USC?
No.
They're not in the ACC.
Not yet. No, they're coming here.
Well, Florida's not ACC, are they?
No, but close. Florida. What's another team in Florida?
Miami.
Miami.
Doy.
So there you go.
What was I missing?
Boston College.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't think they were ACC.
Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech. What you miss now is Cal, SMU, and Stanford. Cal and Stanford are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. What world do we live in? All right, so you got your threshold on the ACC. We now go to the Big 12. There are 16 teams in the Big 12 this season. You need 8 to hit your threshold. Go.
Okay, West Virginia.
Correct.
Kansas.
Correct.
Tech, or do we count Texas anymore because they're leaving?
They're gone.
Yep.
They do not count.
And so is Oklahoma.
Correct.
Okay. Cincinnati.
Correct.
I said West Virginia. I play these schools. Like, I should know this. Tulane. No. I'm like choking right now. I'm like nervous.
This obviously has had the most amount of change with a lot of these teams coming in and going out.
Oh my God.
Okay, a couple of the schools that you said, you got to add something to the end of it. So you said.
Okay, so Kansas State.
Correct. Texas
Tech.
Correct.
Oh my God.
One more, Texas something. But nobody calls them by their whole thing.
TCU.
Correct. Texas Christian.
So I just need like a reminder. I'm like, oh my gosh.
What was the other team that you said that left?
Oklahoma State.
Correct. So you hit. Well, I know you need 1 more for your threshold here, buddy.
There's no way I don't get this.
Okay.
Oh, Houston.
Correct.
Houston and UCF.
Yes. So now you have officially hit it. The ones you didn't get: Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, and Utah are all the Big 12. All right. So you've hit them on both of those. We go to the Big 10
all I need was 50%,
with
baby.
18 teams. 18 teams in the Big Ten, so you got to name me 9 to hit your threshold. Go.
Ohio State.
Correct.
Michigan.
Correct.
Michigan State.
I should actually probably try to tell you you need to get all of these, but okay.
Penn State.
Yep.
You're throwing Maryland.
Yep.
Rutgers.
Yep.
Illinois.
They shouldn't be in the Big Ten. They're useless.
Wow. That's a shot. Illinois.
That's not a shot. They're trash.
Indiana.
Yep.
Wisconsin.
Yep.
Well, now it's going to have Oregon.
Correct.
USC.
Correct.
Northwestern.
Correct.
What am I missing?
You got 6 more to go if you want to complete it. You've already hit your threshold, but if you want to finish out the 6.
There's still 6 more. Wow.
Yeah. 2 new ones, and the other 4 are legacy.
What the hell am I missing?
What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Iowa,
Duh.
Minnesota, Nebraska, Purdue, UCLA, and Washington.
Okay.
Those are the ones from the Big Ten. Final one, SEC. 16 teams. You need 8 to hit your threshold. Copy, paste, go.
All right. Alabama.
Correct.
Georgia.
Correct.
SEC. Texas. Oklahoma.
Yep.
Missouri.
Correct.
Florida.
Correct.
Texas A&M.
Yep.
Come on, Ryan.
You got the new entry, so everybody else is like, been there. But you still need to get 2 more to hit your threshold.
That's so embarrassing. My mind's fuzzy.
Yeah.
How the hell can I not name 2 more in the SEC for crying out loud?
I don't know. One of these teams won a national championship a couple years ago before Alabama and Georgia.
LSU.
That is correct.
Jesus Christ. I see one more.
Yeah.
All right. I set a low bar for myself.
Give me one more.
I did set a low bar for myself.
Okay, you said this team earlier, and then you thought they were in the ACC, but they weren't, and then you said, oh, yeah, that's right, they're in the SEC.
See, my memory doesn't go back 20 minutes.
Sorry.
10 minutes.
They have a funny name.
They have a funny name.
Yeah, their mascot is pretty funny.
Dude.
They like to wear shirts that say go.
I already said LSU.
Yeah. They like to wear shirts that it's part of their team name, but it's a bit of a vulgar word.
All right, well, I got one, Arkansas.
Okay. That's not where you're going, but yeah. Would you say then the South Carolina Gamecocks? Ole Miss, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Auburn were the teams that you missed.
How did I get Auburn?
That's what I'm saying. Like that. Okay. Now, when we're in the season, that's different. The only reason I brought it up was that is how bad. You don't even know. Like, you have no idea where these teams are going. The fact that Stanford is in the ACC with Cal. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Nothing we can do about it. They've already aligned, but the reason I brought it up was today was the official day that all of this realignment has happened. All the realignment in college football became official today as you get ready to go for the season. All right, appreciate everybody joining us. Want to give you another reminder about the Colleague Championships coming up July 10th through the 14th down there at Firestone. You can join us. We're going to be live from our show on Friday the 12th. We will be there. It's a week from this Friday. Go to colleaguechampionship.com. Purchase your tickets. $25 not only gets you into the tournament and you get to see the PGA Champions Tour in town, but then you can also get into the Colleague Infinity Zone, where they have live music on the rock and roll stage with a Friday night Folds of Honor military appreciation concert. Hall of Fame stage, the food trucks, activations from LA Golf, X Golf, Horse Soldier Bourbon, and we will be there as well at the Colleague Infinity Zone. $25 gets you in. Gets you into the tournament, gets you in for the day. Check it out, colleaguechampionship.com, and we'll have some opportunities coming up for you to win some tickets with us here at Big Play. So we'll tell everybody about that coming up. All right, we got Kenny Jackson today. We'll react to that tomorrow. Tonight, loaded show. Big Play Cleveland show. Are we allowed to say who?
I don't see why not.
DJ Burns, Cavaliers summer team. He'll be on tonight, as will Jensen Lewis, and of course, Hanford Dixon show. And we'll talk a little football with Greg and Blake Williams to come get some tonight right here on Big Play. We're back tomorrow, 9 a.m., same time. Twitter, YouTube. Check us out on Twitch, and you can also follow us on Instagram as well for all the content. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.